What's up, people? We're back for another episode 11 of Mentality Focus Podcast. So, again, Alan has joined us for today. So, we're very happy to have him back. So, let's get started. Because I thought let's talk about making changes in your life, and especially there is this misconception in our society that somehow that personality is static. Like I was born this way. My upbringing made me this way, or like for whatever reason I was made this way, so I cannot make any changes. And I think that's a big mistake for anybody anybody that wants to make changes in their life and that wants to develop himself and like level up and become a better person. So especially because especially because like Alan and I, we have these types of conversations like for I don't know for how many years since we like know each other. So I'm very curious to know, like, Alan, how do you personally look at the subject, or either like the question that's in our like in psychology they have between nature versus nurture. Is our upbringing the most important, or like is our DNA the most important when we grow up, or is our environment, like how the parents, how they treat us, how like the kind types of friends that we hang around with, what is the most important, nature or nurture? What do you think?
Well, I will not give like 100% to one side or another. I think that both sides like they're important. Of course, that our genetic material has some meaning, but like if you have not like good genetics in the lottery, doesn't mean that you your destiny to failure. Like in that moment is when nurture is coming, and of course that the mindset is like really important. I want to start to mention like the fact that, for example, like when we're kids and we're in the kindergarten, like it is like the perfect moment when you can see like how nurture matters, because like when we're in kindergarten, like we are just little children, like having fun and learning everything what the environment is like throwing to us, like we were making the comment that basically, like when we're in the kindergarten, we are growing up and we are like learning everything that our parents are doing. We will start to talk in the same way that they talk. We will walk in the same way that they walk. We will basically behave in the same way that they behave.
Yeah, that is exactly actually when it comes to this discussion, I think I think the discussion is often like not it doesn't have enough nuance. I mean, from my perspective, if you ask me nature or nurture, I would say it's both. Definitely is both.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, your
definitely is both.
genetics, yeah, your genetics, they play a huge role. And like some people they are more fortunate than others with regard to like the genetic lottery. Like some people they are extremely smart, extremely handsome, and others they weren't so lucky. But there's never an excuse not to optimize anything. I mean, I met people that were fantastically fantastically talented, but like their character didn't their character basically, like, if you're lazy, you're not going to make it. Whatever genetic lottery whenever genetic lottery you won, it doesn't matter if you're lazy, if you're not going to put your ass to work. And what I personally what I personally find very important is to always ask yourself the question, like, okay, I have this particular set of ideas, like, where do those ideas come from? Because whether you're going to ask yourself nature or nurture, which you should ultimately ask, like, how to optimize whatever cards were dealt to me, and and take it like and try to become a better person from there. And that's why you should always ask yourself, okay, like, I have this particular philosophy, this particular idea, but who told this to me? Who taught this? Like, was it back in kindergarten? Was it in high school? Was it in college? Where does it come from?
Well, the situation is that you nail basically what is like the root of most of problems. You know, like when we're growing up, like maybe we get these traumas and you do not realize where they're coming from. So we need to go like deeper into self-analysis and then try to find out what was the reason, was the root of the trauma that we have, and in that moment, how we're going to change it. That I cannot find like another name. It's excuse. That excuse that like, yeah, you know, I am like this because of my genetics, or I am like this and I cannot change. You know, like that's the most lame and laziest fucking excuse that I have ever listened from somebody to avoid to do what you need to do in life. That's it. It's a fucking excuse. Like everybody can change. Uh-huh. Like for folks' sake, even the fucking trees in there, like they can change, and you know, like the tree cannot move. You can. So yeah, again, I cannot find like another way to call it. It's just a fucking excuse for you to be like sitting in your fucking ass, like wasting your life, like watching all the time like videos on YouTube, and then like when the night is coming, like go on and watch like some porn, and then like repeat the fucking cycle. So I think that this leads to the back to the point, like our mind, you know, when we're kids, is like quite fresh, quite receptive, and so on. So, for example, if at that stage, like your parents, they were taking good care of you and so on, um, you are going to have it like way easier in life. But if your parents, you know, like they were just leaving you in one corner with the TV on, or with the mobile in there, like you know, like some electronic device and stuff, man, you know, like your life is going to be fucked up. And to the public at the audience, like they need to start to think what of these two they are. If you are the second type, as I mentioned it, okay, you are going to have it harder, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be like impossible, you know. The situation is that all the shit that we see in the media is aimed to program or mind in a certain way. And most of the problems that you are going to have is because you are trying to follow like that that way of life that they sell to you in the media. Like again, it's a TV, is the media, is fantasy. You need to learn to distinguish between reality and between the fantasy. And what you see all the time in the TV, well, again, is fantasy. You are not going to live like that. And even like those huge there's like many influencers wanna be that they show off like, oh, I'm traveling to Dubai, Praia by jet, and so on. And when you start to dig a little bit like deeper, you find out like how these people is lying. There is the there was the case some months ago about a famous Instagrammer. um they the audience of Instagram caught her because they realized that the clouds were all the time the same ones. And she can like, oh yeah, it's because I did, and I use my clouds all the time, and so on. It's like, man, that's bullshit. So again, if you really want to change like the first step to change your life is like stop believing what you see in the media. Uh-huh. The media lie to your parents. The media lie to your grandparents. I don't see the reason why the media is not going to lie to you. That's something that you need to learn. And
Yeah, also because whatever they are going to broadcast on whatever they're going to broadcast in on Instagram or like on TV, whatever
yeah,
they're going to show to you is an exception. It's either an exception or it's like complete impossible for people to make happen. And we live in a time we live in a time, it's very like perception is ultimately perception is reality. Because if
yes,
somebody shows off, like if somebody shows off in like a particular way that shows off a particular way, a particular lifestyle, everybody's going to think like, whoa, like that person lives like that. Yeah, but like under the car, like if you dig a little bit deeper, like those types of people, they have skeletons. They have skeletons in their closets, you know, like that type of that type of stuff. So yeah, like that's why I like your point. Like focus on reality. Focus on reality. But yeah, I think we divert a little bit like too much from the topic. So you know what I think? What I
Yeah,
think.
I was about like to coming back to the I was about to coming back to the point because I wanted to mention, okay, what's the difference between us and, for example, the people who is like lefties, you know, like hard left, like Black Lives Matter and so on. I'm going to tell you what's the difference. The difference between us and that people is that they are trying to change. They're trying to change the world in a better way, according to them. But that's not the way that the world should be changed. That's not the way that the world is going to be fixed. The way to do the stuff is to go on to first change your mind. And after you change your mind, you're going to start to change yourself, and that will change the reality and the reality of the people around you. So why the leftists are that unhappy, are that frustrated, are that aggressive? Because they go to the other way, like trying to change the world, and they see that nothing is happening. They see that, yeah, you know, like we are so much of us and we are doing this and doing that, but the people, they do not understand. Like, we're so smart, we're so progressive, we're so this, we're so that. Like, man, come on, like, what again? You are not going to take an advice from somebody who builds nothing, and most of these people, they have nothing. And you know, like, that's the reason when they go back home and all this adrenaline that they were out goes away, they realize it. Oh my gosh, like, I'm a fucking failure.
Yeah, but you know, also, you know, that's not just left or like, but it's also like all across the political spectrum. Like, oh yeah, you know, like somebody else is going to have to fix my problems. No, like you fix the world by first fixing yourself. You know, but that's the most difficult thing that you're going to do. That's going the most difficult thing that you're going to do in your life. Like you're going to look in the mirror and
Of
say like,
course,
yeah, wait a moment, like I'm not living up to my potential. You know, so but you know, I I am. I think at some point, like especially I was guilty of this, like following politics way too much and that kind of stuff. You know, like first look at first fix yourself, and the moment you have fixed yourself, you can think about, okay, like I want to do some philanthropic work, or I want to like support some particular political cause. You know, whatever you want, like it's up to you. You know, but first you need to fix yourself, you know. So that's always the starting point.
of course, that goes through. You know, of course, that everybody in the political spectrum goes like this. But when you analyze, if you go like deeper and you start to analyze, like the actual leftist movements, you will find like this common denominator. So they're preaching all the time, like, yeah, you know, it's okay to be weak, it's okay to eat junk food, it's okay to be lazy. Like, man, no, it's not okay to be like that. You have one life, and the years are coming and coming and coming. And when when you grow up, what you're going to say to yourself, like, yeah, you know, I have a full life, a full of potential, and I just wasted because I wanted to because I wanted to be complacent with all the world. I wanted to make like the world like happier, and I ended up like being a happy person in the meanwhile. So I mean, that, I mean, by my means, I will not allow that by all my means. That's it. So,
Yeah.
to the people out the audience is the same situation. Like, do not allow the modernity to come and to take away the like your lifespan.
Yeah. But what do you personally think? Like what is the catalyst? What is the catalyst for people? What should be a catalyst for people to make changes in their lives? And if they find a catalyst or like a reason to make change, how to go about it? Like at what point you're going to reach in your life, and did you say, "Okay, right now I want to make changes?" Like how do you go about this?
Well, like I think that you can resume that word in that you can resume all this situation in one word, and that word will be trauma. It can be uh, I don't know, situations like you lose somebody at your household. uh, you get a trauma because you are not like socially skilled, and people like rejects you. uh, and because you are not social skill and the people rejects you, also you have like problems finding a girlfriend or something. Maybe you find somebody who really you like, uh that you were thinking, yeah, like I can do cool things with this girl and stuff, and then like suddenly like she rejects you like really 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 badly, that it hurts deep inside, and you say, well, like I need to do like some adjustments in my life. I think in most of the cases that will resume what is the catalyst, a trauma, like from this perspectives. Of course, there's going to be like another ones, but I think like if we speak about like percentage, I think will be way lower.
Okay, so let's say you break. Usually, I hear people they they like you mentioned, they see law like a breakup or like a rejection as a reason for that change. But like the moment, for example, in my life at some point, I realized like, okay, right now I need to make some changes. So for example, I started going to the gym. Like I looked in the mirror, I was like, yeah, like I have no friend, like I've I've no friends. I'm fat and playing video games all the time. So let's make some freaking changes. Like first, like I'm going to the gym. I didn't know what to do. But I could at least lose some weight. So let's start
Mm-hmm.
there. So like what's like how do you? But I remember from that time, like basically, other than going to the gym, I had basically no way to no other way to improve upon myself. I didn't know for like 2.5 years. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to the gym every day. That's it. I'm just training, 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 nonstop. Like, what are the ways? Like, how are you going about change, like for you personally?
Well, now that you mention it, that's a really like important topic. Like, how are we going to change? Well, uh, in your case, you took a good decision. Like going to the gym is a first step, and it's a step that I think that everybody who is like lost, that they should follow. And the situation is that yeah, you're lost, and after that you have no idea like what to do. Well, like, if you are like watching this podcast, I have to say, okay, congratulations, because in here you are going to start to get like ideas like what is going to be the next steps. So in this case, I will say the next step will be like you need to think into the content that you are consuming, because again, um, if you are like sitting all the time and watching YouTube videos and stuff, and you're all the time are watching like these romantic comedy movies, like you're going to be lost. You're wasting your time. You need to take yourself to start to analyze yourself in a deeper way and say, okay, what am I like this? If somebody comes and they insult me and immediately I overreact, I need to understand why this particular insult is making me overreact. Because if the smallest insult like triggers something inside you, the problem is not the people, the problem is inside you. So again, you need to go into your mind, you need to go deeper. This process is going to be slow, and it's going to be like painful as fuck. Like the most difficult shit that you're going to do in life is to work with yourself, and that's the reason why many people prefers to go to the war and say like, yeah, the war is wrong, like I am okay, like there's this and this and this and that is wrong with the war, like, but I'm okay. No, 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 hold your horses. The first thing that you need to fix like is yourself, and this is going to take time. So when you start to analyze yourself and you start to understand why these situations like triggers you, you are going to start to change and say, okay, if this is my normal reaction, how can I react in another way that is, how to call it, not socially acceptable, but it is like it gives to me like social value every time that I react like this. Something that I'm going to react, I am not going to put myself in a situation that the people start to laugh from me, but the people is going to say like, oh, like these people, like they came and they throw an insult to this bastard, to this motherfucker, but he's so clever that he came with some phrase, and that phrase is funny, is clever, and like
Yeah, and it's
somehow he turned it out like the insult. So the people who insult him, they were like, okay, shit, like we don't know what to answer right now.
yeah. Yeah, that's crucial. About this particular topic, like we should go in depth about it, because this is like super important. This is super important to master for anybody that wants to
Yes,
improve himself. But because it's very, very difficult actually.
yes,
This is not
yes,
something that you learn in a like in a couple of weeks. Like it takes really a lot of time, and you will start
yeah,
to grasp. You will start to grasp it the moment you have like more social interaction and such. But I think your point about like choosing your particular like being very cautious of what type of content you consume is very like it's
yes,
crucial, because
yes,
and also like the types of people that you hang around with. I mean, like for me, what made a change like from going like developing myself further, and that developing taking the next steps in my self development was I was just training. I finished high school and that's it. Like I go to another country, I go to hang around with other people and that type of stuff, and then I started to hang around with you, and that's because I went to a different environment and I went to hang around with different types of people, with higher quality people, and that is essential, because you cannot like you're not going to level up if you have like all of these people around you that are anchors, like. So yeah,
yeah,
that is essential. And another thing is, yeah, content. I mean, most people nowadays, there's so many people on TikTok. And yeah, of course, we produce the content. But personally, I'm not watching any TikTok. I don't watch anything. Every time I'm on TikTok, it's just to post something, and that's it, for nothing else. And that's because I know that I'm not going to find any value there. Of course, like for the types of content that we make, that's different, and anybody that wants to watch it and wants to learn from it, they can watch it, but it's very like it's essential nowadays, because there's so much content out there that's only content that is going to add value to your life. That's why I preach like not don't spend time watching those useless series, like how does the particular content that you're listening to, how does it add value to your life? Like, is it making you smarter? Is it making you is
yeah.
it in a long term going to gain you a skill? Is it going to give you new ideas? That type of stuff, that is adding value. And if it's not the case, then you should stop watching that type of content.
Totally agree. Like I'm totally agree on what you're saying. The situation is that the media is like pushing all the time like this trash content, like all the time, like, oh yeah, like series and this and that and stuff. Like
Yeah, cat video
it's okay.
cat
It's
videos.
okay. Yeah, I mean it's okay if you want to watch like a couple of cat videos and stuff, but like like for the love of God, like you need to stop. Uh-huh. A couple of them is okay, but most of the people, they take a seat and they start to look these cat videos and stuff, or these Netflix series that, oh my gosh, like they're so as fuck, and they spend 2 3 hours per day. Like imagine what you can achieve if you just forget about it, like
Yeah,
and
you can
then like
become very
that.
educated. Yeah, you can be very educated if you use that
Yeah,
three, two or
yeah.
3 hours in like for educational content. You can become so
even
educated.
even even one, if you dedicate like one of these hours to learn something online, like some craft, like man, like you are going to be like quite good in some months or something. But the situation is that first of all, like we have the problem with the content, but that's like that's inside your household. Like you are the one who decides what to watch and how long. But then we have the problem on the outside, that is the friends. So personally, I was hanging around with these people, and all the time. I mean, like if you have like friends like the ones that I'm going to mention, like you need to kick them out like immediately from your life. And the situation with these friends is that I always, I always been like smart for whatever like I want to learn. These people all the time they were saying like, yeah, like you're stupid, you are this, you are that. Like, how do you think that this is true? Like, and like this kind of situation it continues until today. Uh, I I got a nickname actually. Like they call me the master of conspiracies. But yeah, again, the situation is that if you have friends like these ones, like you need to kick them out immediately from your life. If you cannot change like the way if you cannot change your living place, then just drop them. Like if they are going to the school with you, just stop to hang around with them, stop talking to them, just be polite and stuff. But like you do not need these kind of persons into your life.
Yeah, so and with that, they are turning off the light here over here. So I think right now is a good time to wrap up. So people,
Yes.
people, I would like to appreciate I would like to yeah, thank everybody for watching. And actually we're going to go much deeper into this topic the next time. So thank you very much, and we're on to the next one. Peace.
Take care, motherfuckers.